Welcome to Javid Radio, brought to you live by the Javid Media Group. Tonight's hosts, Avi Cyperstein, John Eisler, Blake, and world-renowned comedian Mike Fine.
Good evening and welcome to Javid Radio. This is your host, Avi Cyperstein. I'm joined tonight in the studio with our wonderful co-host, Mike Fine. Actually made it on time for a change. Thank you, Mike, for doing that for us. We really appreciate it.
It's my pleasure, Avi.
Of course. And of course, we are streaming live at www.surrealradio.com. That's SYREAL radio.com. You can also tune in by listening to us on your phone at 712-432-6553. Again, that number, and that's just the listen-in line, 712-432-6553. If you'd like to text or call us during the show with any questions or comments, 347-684-1155 is the number. Again, 347-684-1155 is our text-in line tonight.
What if someone wants to send us a letter, Avi? How do they do that?
What's your address, Mike?
P.O. Box 229, New York, New York, 10024.
There we go. I'm very excited, actually. This show has had a lot of planning in the making. We have two very, very special guests tonight. We're talking about, we have a very interesting topic planned for tonight. We told Blake not to even show up because it's just not worth having him here for this one. Just kidding. But we have in the studio tonight, we have Avi Golden, a good friend and an acquaintance of mine. We volunteer together on Hatzalah Volunteer Ambulance. Avi, good evening.
Hello.
Good to have you. Just speaking to the mic, yeah.
Got it, sorry.
It's okay. Okay.
How are you?
There we go. He likes to come with a bang. And we're also joined in the studio tonight with renowned speech pathologist, if I'm correct, Suzanna Sky. Suzanna, welcome.
Hi, glad to be here.
All right, it's great to have you guys. So, Avi, give us a little history. What are we talking about tonight?
Sorry. So, 8.5 years ago, I have a stroke before as a paramedic in New York City and Hatzalah as well. And now I have a stroke and aphasia. So now I talk with EMS, police, firemen, doctor, nurses, speech pathologists, students, faculty, and now radio as well.
Fantastic. So you just became a radio personality. Congratulations. Your certificate will be at the door. So I understand that do you travel a lot to talk about this? Because I follow you on Facebook, and let me tell you something. You know, most of my Facebook friends are like pretty predictable. I know the guys that are going to write the sad stories. I know the ones that are going to post the drunk pictures every weekend. And I know the guys that are going to write about all the fun things that are really not happening in their life. And then I follow your page, and it just seems so fascinating. It's full of information, and it looks like you're all over the place, just spreading information and speaking to classrooms, to crowds. Like, tell us a little bit about what you do.
Well, I mean, just the same thing over and over and over. I speak a lot about... Well, okay.
Take it slow. Don't worry. It's all good.
It's great. 1.5 years ago, 1.5 year before I have a stroke, the Elaine Ganfried talked with you and said, do you like talking about aphasia? And I said, Michael, because that's how it is done with a long time ago.
Okay.
So she said, what about come and talk about EMS with talk about your story? So I said, Michael, also good.
Now, let me ask you a question. Am I allowed to interrupt you?
No, not at all.
Okay. When you say, I know, like, when I heard your talk on aphasia, first of all, you spoke to the group of Hatzalah volunteers at a CME shortly under a year ago, I believe it was, a few months ago. You did. I heard you speak.
It was someone else.
Which one?
You spoke at one of the Queen's CMEs, I believe.
No, it was 3 years ago.
That was 3 years ago. All right. That's just bad timeline for me. I guess my memory is shortened.
Well,
Not short-term memory, shortened memory.
But by the way, maybe before you continue, you want to tell the listening audience what aphasia is?
Oh, that's true.
Yes, yeah. We'll get into all your exciting work. Tell us about what exactly is aphasia, and I'll tell you. I was telling Susanna before, because she's definitely not like me in the sense that she comes early to meetings. But we were talking before the show, and I was telling her that even as an EMT, I never really knew what aphasia was until it
Not at
was. Yeah, I didn't know. I mean, we're trained, and we go. As EMTs, we have continuous training and of different medical conditions and stuff. Different things to expect and how to handle different situations, how to do patient assessment, which you're very well aware of.
When Avi told me we were talking about aphasia tonight, that's your organization, I thought that had something to do with like a skin rash that gets treated by the dermatologist. I actually called Dr. Fox of Advanced Dermatology. He knew nothing of it. So why don't you tell us?
Actually, I like to.
You okay?
Yeah.
Sure. So Susanna is going to tell us a little bit about aphasia. And then we'll have Avi tell us a little bit about the work that he's doing and spreading the word and how he spends his day.
Thank you. So a lot of people actually are like yourself and don't really know what aphasia is. They might have heard about the word or not even, and they just totally don't understand what it consists of. So essentially aphasia is the breakdown of language, whether it be expressive or receptive. So what happens is that there's a stroke initially, and then right after the stroke there's a breakdown in the person's ability to understand language or to produce it in a cohesive kind of way, and there's different types of aphasia. So just to kind of make it simple, the two basic types are expressive aphasia and receptive aphasia. So expressive aphasia might sound like a word salad, and someone will be speaking fluently, but it won't really make sense. So there'll be a lot of different words together that don't come together into a sentence typically.
So in their mind, they're thinking the word salad, but what is actually being said might be something different.
No, I'm saying it's a word salad. Like it sounds.
Oh, it's a word
Not
salad.
the
Okay, I thought you were using the word
salad.
salad
Like
as an example.
They have the entire sentence in their head planned out, but the way it comes out in not in order how they process it in their mind.
So it could sound something like apple hat with me mother,
Okay.
and the intonation is there. It was a question, but maybe they were trying to ask you, where's my hat?
Okay.
But it came out totally different, and the awareness is decreased. So they might think that they said it fine, and you're looking at them like you don't know what they're talking about, but they feel like they said something that was comprehensible.
Which automatically makes it at times difficult to communicate.
Right. Absolutely. And then the other type is where there's not this fluent type of speech coming out, or it's broken up. So it will sound more like give it, and you want, maybe there's like a long sentence behind that they want to say, but the word finding isn't there.
Got it.
So
Now, is
that's
it,
what it
you
comes
mentioned
out as.
before that it's something that could happen as a result of a stroke. Is there any other way that someone can get aphasia? Is it something that somebody could be born with, or is it just a direct result only of a stroke, or is it something that can happen from any other illness or disease?
Primarily, it's from a stroke. There can be, there's via like TBI can cause aphasia-like symptoms.
I think what Avi's
but
trying to ask
essentially it's
is,
mostly a stroke.
I think what Avi's trying to ask, and correct me if I'm wrong, is aphasia contagious? Could it be transmitted, whether sexually or like sharing a glass of water with someone, sitting on the same toilet seat, et cetera, or is it like specifically, maybe Avi wants to handle this?
Yes.
Absolutely, it's airborne, actually.
Oh, that's great.
And now, how does one treat this, or are there ways to go about, suppressing or monitoring or controlling it?
It's less about suppressing it and more about accepting it and working to do everything you can to rehabilitate your brain, to create new pathways to regenerate and to develop the language once again. So as a speech language therapist, we deal with a lot of patients that have aphasia, and essentially anyone that has a stroke, they will be recommended to have speech and language therapy as well as physical therapy, occupational therapy, because usually it's not just the language that's affected.
Have you worked with Avi on any of this?
Not directly with Avi, but I've known him since I was in
You haven't
graduate
been
school.
lucky yet.
No.
Oh.
Sorry. 4 years ago, 5 years ago, something like that. She worked with me with 4 years ago. 4 months, all the time for 2 months. 2 weeks, 3 weeks for 4 months, roundabout, about you and me. At Mona Greenfield.
Oh, Mona Greenfield.
Yeah.
Not directly though.
Right.
But I worked in the same facility that Avi was in, getting therapy from other therapists.
Now, what were some of the steps in toward? First of all, you had a stroke. I think you said, did you or?
Sure. So I went to surgery.
Okay.
And in the surgery, my father has AV valve, and unfortunately, I have AV valve. So I'm saying, you know what? I'm gonna go to medical school, but before that is surgery. And in the surgery, after the stroke, in the surgery, I have a stroke. In the surgery.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
And now, how long did it take for you to start doing therapy and like getting back on course and stuff?
So I was in the hospital for 4 months, and 2 weeks after stroke, I is OT, PT, and speech pathology, and now the same thing is OT, PT, and speech pathology all day long, today, every day to be better. Yeah. Better.
You sound great. Not for nothing. You speak much better than Avi. And Avi, I don't know what he had. Maybe he fell as a child or something, or ate some lead-based paint. But whatever you're doing, it's working. So keep at. Maybe you could recommend someone for Avi, and wait till you meet Blake. Yeah, that's. Yeah, it's. Yeah. Avi, do you have anything to contribute to this?
Well, what I wanted to actually get a little bit more. I mean, I know Avi, but I want our listeners to realize that prior to this procedure, Avi, you had a very active life. You, like you said, you were a paramedic.
Yes.
Yes. You were a paramedic as a volunteer.
Volunteer in Hatala and paid with North Shore LIJ, Columbia Presbyterian, Hatala. Senior care, Maimonides, the whole thing.
So you basically could have been on any ambulance in this city at any point, going around helping people.
Absolutely.
Okay. And now, if I recall, and correct me if I'm wrong, there was something about flight,
Yes.
something in there.
So also is critical care paramedic and flight paramedic more higher.
Were you actually a flight medic, or
Yes.
you were actually a flight medic?
Yes.
What does a flight medic do?
It's a lot of fun. It's a flight paramedic is in the air, in a helicopter or airplane, taking the job more seriously.
So you would be, let's say, you were doing medical transports, or you were responding to actual severe emergencies as a flight medic?
Both.
Both. So that's what I mean. I'm an EMT, so I'm not even a paramedic. Avi was a paramedic, so he was already doing advanced life support.
Yeah, but Avi, you're a paramedic, EMT, Hatzola, the whole nine. You do absolutely nothing except do social media updates, and even that's infrequent.
I'm in the middle of trying to do it right now.
Yeah. See, he can't multitask. He could be on a plane doing CPR, getting ready for takeoff, landing, deliver a baby, the whole thing. You're having difficulty tweeting.
I am.
You believe this? You believe it? You don't even know what the real reason you were brought in here is to be a source of inspiration for Avi to get his act together, for him to get everything going again. He takes advantage of all his faculties. Does that do people look up to you? Do you have people after you speak come over to you or?
Yeah, one or two times every year or every 2 years, somebody will come and say, "Awesome, I was a patient and very great fun for you and me together." So yeah.
Where do so you go out and speak a lot now? Yeah.
Now I speak, yes.
Whereabouts do you?
All day long. Today in the morning, I spoke about aphasia with a speech pathology student in Queens College. And
Wow. How many students were in that room?
master program, 5, 10, 15, 20 people.
Okay, fantastic. So you spoke to the master's program
Yeah.
about aphasia awareness.
Yeah.
Now, I remember, if I recall, aphasia can be confused when someone meets someone who has aphasia. They might confuse it for something else. They might confuse it. They might think that the person is under the influence, or is there any other? Are there any other things that people should be aware of? Let's say when meeting somebody who has aphasia, and how to recognize that this is actually someone who's not, not mocking them or whatever it is. What are some of the ways that someone could be aware? And I think that's one of the things that you're trying to promote is actual aphasia awareness. So what are some of the things that people, unlike us, because we're educated right now.
Most of us. I'm a high school dropout.
Yeah, so for someone like Mike Fine, if you bump into him on the subway, what's something that he can use to identify that this person might actually just be someone who's struggling with aphasia and trying to communicate something to you, or the other way around?
Well, yeah, what you said is totally correct. A lot of people, I think, may mistake aphasia for either being intoxicated or being having some sort of brain injury in terms of like intelligence.
Okay.
And the intelligence is not what's affected in aphasia. So there is no intellectual deficit there. It's primarily just language,
like the motor
associated.
skills.
Yeah, that too. Some of it can involve having trouble actually placing the tongue or the lips in the position that you want to say the specific sound or the specific word. But really, it's, the intelligence level of the person is not affected. So I think that's a really important point to make, and an important piece to distinguish aphasia with any other type of intellectual disability.
That's very important for people to be aware of that. Like me myself, actually when I'm not co-hosting the show to all four listeners, I'm actually a performer. And a lot of times when I get off stage, sometimes people will applaud or laugh. It's getting less and less frequent. But people will always say great job. And a lot of times it's because they think I'm developmentally disabled. So it's sort of like, oh, let's root for this poor guy with a nebuch. So it turns out that people, the first thing they always think are, those negative thoughts, and, they would have never even thought that this could be a possibility, which is, good to know now. That's,
Yeah, absolutely. Raising awareness in the aphasia community and in general in the medical community, I feel like will really help to let people know the difference and know how to distinguish this and help to save people's lives in the situation where it's at a critical moment. If they had just had the stroke and someone thinks that they're intoxicated, they might not call an ambulance. They might not really think that this is a serious situation, that they need to get them over to a hospital right away. And if they do get them to a hospital right away, they might be able to reverse the effects of the stroke.
Oh, so interesting point, because as an EMT, I know that one of the signs that might indicate that someone is having a stroke is slurred speech. Now, is that actually at that point called aphasia, or is that an indication of a stroke, and then aphasia then becomes a result of some kind of form of a stroke?
It could be a TIA, which is right before the stroke.
Like
a mini
it,
stroke,
yeah.
right? It might be kind of like giving you clues and hints that a stroke is coming, or it might be the effects of a stroke happening right now, and then the speech will start to become slurred. There's usually drooping of the face, one side of the face, primarily the right side.
Okay.
If it's a left-sided stroke, which is going to affect the language. And also, you'll see drooping of the right arm or the right leg.
Okay, very interesting. And
No.
that's before that comment. It's very important, and as an EMT, and Avi, I know you're going to agree with me on this. There are so many times where I've been called, or I'm sure you've been called to a scene where, the call comes in because the patient is not acting right, or they'll say, they haven't really been talking normally to us, or there's various different things, and it the last thing someone might think it is a stroke. And then, of course, you have the calls where, someone has like a really bad migraine and they call and say, oh, he's having a stroke, and everything's really fine. But I think it's very important for people to be aware of the signs of someone having a stroke, because I believe in the last couple of years they have a new medication or procedure that they can reverse, like you were saying, within the first 3 hours. Is that correct? Within the
4.5 hours, I think.
Within the first 4.5 hours of someone having a stroke.
Now.
Right. So and very often, like I remember actually in this neighborhood, we're not far from where our studio is, we actually got a call a few years ago for someone that was laying in bed, an elderly person who normally is able to get out of bed by themselves and ambulate and walk around with a little bit of difficulty. And the person was laying in bed, not talking, not eating, not moving, and the family waited like almost a full day. And the person had a full-blown stroke, and the family was just going to kind of wait it out, and maybe they weren't feeling well or whatever it was. And unfortunately for that person, they ended up having a full-blown stroke, and it was irreversible. So I think it's important when talking about this topic to also raise awareness that if you're sitting with someone, especially someone who's elderly, or anybody, it could happen to anybody, if there are any signs of slurred speech or any indication that the person might have a weakness, like you said, in the right arm or even the left arm, they might be having a stroke, and it's important to call 911 or to call your local emergency, even a volunteer ambulance if you want, right away, because what's the worst thing that'll happen? is that maybe they don't have, like they'll go to the hospital and they're told, okay, you're fine.
Avi, I think I just had a stroke listening to you. Now let's get down to the real questions, the things that everybody really wants to know. Avi, not Cyperstein. Avi, what's your last name? Avi Golden.
Golden.
You're a good-looking guy.
Of course.
Really good-looking guy, smart guy,
Not
good
really.
shape. Yes, okay. Compared to me, everyone's smart. But so, are you single? What's the dating life like? Do you date? Well, what's going on? Because we have a lot of single women that listen to the show right now, and maybe through here we can try and set something up if you're not already taken. God knows we gave up on Avi. If you see Blake, you'll understand why he's still single. But there's still hope for you. This one, forget about it. His parents, they email me, text me, how come we can't get this guy together? But
Well, thank God, I have a girlfriend in Las Vegas,
oh wow,
Oh, wow.
Los Angeles. So I am going to see 2 weeks in the future. So thank God.
Now, do you need anyone here on the East Coast? We know lots of women here on the East Coast. If you're interested, you can.
Is she listening right now?
I think so.
Mike,
So,
don't get him in any trouble.
I'm a comedian. I'm just joking, but maybe we could send one for the other Avi. You're a smart guy. How come this Avi is not married? And if so, you have a girlfriend. Could you give him any pointers or advice?
I have Lisa. Lisa will come and as Avi together. It's no problem at all.
Well, I appreciate that. Thank you.
Now, what do you work? Do you currently work now?
No, I mean,
Other than the speaking, I mean.
after the stroke, no, because I wish to go to medical school, but right now, no, because I don't have the stuff because speaking is very difficult understanding. But I every 4 or 5 months every year, 4 or 5 months, I go to 911 in Brooklyn Hospital.
What's 911?
Is senior care.
Oh,
EMS.
okay.
So I go back.
And you do a rotation or a
Just volunteering, but yeah.
fantastic.
Yeah.
Now, you were just saying that job opportunities are limited for you at this point.
Something like that, yeah.
Well, we're looking for a new co-host. John Eisler is MIA. I think he's in the witness protection program. You're more enjoyable and likable than he ever will be. So it's you got something going for you.
All right, let's go.
Yeah.
You're hired.
Now, Susanna.
Yes.
Now, you're a speech therapist.
Yes, speech language therapist.
Speech language therapist. Do you think Avi and me talk? Are we up to par, or is there any work that could be done, or is there room for an improvement for our speech?
You mean besides the New York accent?
Yeah. Or
Thanks. Why? Where are you from?
I'm from New York too.
Okay, there you go.
It's
So how did you work on it?
It's work.
A
in
lot of
progress.
practice.
Yeah.
Now,
you really have to work on it.
what motivated you to want to get into being a speech a language therapist, the whole nine? Were you younger and you used to listen to your parents talk and other people talk, and it's like, I just don't like the way that sounds, and I want to help people?
Yeah, the
talk.
Russian accent was just like
Oh,
driving me crazy.
Oh, your parents are Russian?
Yes.
Oh my gosh, that's too funny. Well, what part of Russia?
Well, technically Ukraine,
Okay.
So
Oh,
not-
wow, I've been
So-
to the Ukraine.
So
but the former USSR.
So let me tell you, I hope you don't get insulted, and if you do, I'll do tshuva for it. So it turns out I used to do this joke about how it wasn't very funny, but I thought it was. I used to do this joke about how someone wanted to set me up with a dominatrix. You know what a dominatrix is, right?
Right.
And it turns out that she was very progressive, and she went to liberal arts college and all that, and she didn't believe in hitting people or, inflicting pain with that. She would inflict pain by talking with a thick Russian accent. because it's very brutal to listen to, and that's how you could get someone to submit. So
it's a really harsh
now,
accent.
what do you think is the worst accent on the planet? It has to be the Russian.
I think it is the Russian accent.
Is there a difference between Ukrainian or Russian?
It's really not that different. It's really not that different.
Would you rather listen, if you're driving from New York to California to see Avi's girlfriend over there, and there was only one station you could listen to, like a talk radio, it's either in Russian or Yiddish, which one would you pick?
Probably Yiddish, so that I could learn a little more. Because
Okay.
I know some words here and there from hearing my grandparents and, just being in New York and Brooklyn and working in Borough Park. And I feel like I'd like to listen to learn more.
Yeah.
And know some German, too. Well, kind
Yeah,
of learn two languages at once.
German is a little difficult to listen to. They're always screaming. Everything's screaming
Yeah,
in
that
German.
actually might be tied with Russian. To the harshest, most brutal language.
Now, Avi, let me ask you: do you speak only one language, or do you speak Hebrew also, or?
So I speak Hebrew and English, but unfortunately, after the stroke, I understand Hebrew, but I don't read, write, or listen. Right?
Really? So
Or understand.
so
Really?
prior to your stroke, you did.
Yes, absolutely.
So does that mean that after you had the stroke, you had to, in a way, relearn English?
Um,
I'm sorry, that was my pacemaker. Yeah. Either my pacemaker or the microwave. I'm still not sure. Yes. Either way, it's ready. Yeah.
so
By the way, that's Blake. Didn't I tell you he was a Nebuch?
Of course it was Blakey. He brings
Okay. Yeah.
so I forgot, what is that?
About relearning English.
Oh, so yes. So so my mother is Israeli. So I born in Lubbock, Texas, is a small Texas, Lubbock, Texas, and then I talk with my mother in Hebrew, and then later, like 3 or 4 years go by, then I go to school, and then English is together. So now I understand Hebrew,
Oh.
and I understand English, but after stroke, all I can say was Michael for 1 year roundabout, and then later, thank God, it's only English because I only is in New York City, but I understand Hebrew.
So, just to clarify, your English has gotten better because you've been doing therapy in English and not in Hebrew.
Yes.
Are you going to take therapy to relearn the Hebrew also, or is that possible, or?
Yes, as a matter of fact, yes, but not today.
Oh.
Maybe tomorrow.
Well, tomorrow's another day, as they say. But, well, one question, we still have more time, but before we forget, a lot of people, when they have adversity or challenges in their life, like you could see Blake, we could go down a laundry list with him, or even Avi putting himself together. But what was that motivation to make you want to, I guess, get back in the saddle and just, dealing with life challenges? You seem very optimistic, I could tell, and you look very strong and happy. And what was the secret, if you don't mind sharing, to help you keep on going and fighting?
I think it's I also is happy, and a lot of people who have stroke is happy, and it's very good. But everybody who has aphasia go to speech pathology and work till the end day, until, thank God, it's there. But So it's better. How about that? Yeah.
I just want to read a quick message that just came in on the text-in line, and it's from Ellie and Paloma Geffen, and they said, "Avi, you sound great. You sound incredible. Wow." And a shout-out to Susanna, whose brother-in-law owns Mike's Bistro. Is that true?
Yes.
Okay, there we go.
And by the way, we would like to thank Mike's Bistro for offering a $200 gift certificate to caller 100 right now. Avi, why don't you give out the number?
The number to call or text in, 347-684-1155.
I'm sorry, what? I have no is letter and numbers. I don't understand.
Avi, all you have to understand is that you are on the house. You'll never have to pay again. When your girlfriend comes in from Los Angeles, you take them to Mike's Bistro.
Las
and
Vegas.
Las Vegas or Los Angeles. God, the guy has more girlfriends than you and Blake combined. So it turns out you just show up there and you tell them, seat me, everything's on the arm. Am I right, Susanna?
Absolutely.
Okay, very cool.
hope
And
you're okay with
free
that,
dinner
Mike.
at Mike's Bistro. Look at that.
Yeah, oh, the wonderful food. I remember I once took a date there, not to show off. I once took a date there, and it was a fourth date, believe it or not. You know what that? No, none of you could relate.
I don't know anything about that.
So it was a fourth date, and the food was excellent, but for a fourth date, that's a place you want to take a girl, like maybe on like the 20th date, because it's, like where do you go from there? The place is so nice. It's, so after that I had to like take her for like a falafel and then like build it back up again, so that's really what.
So basically, the next time Susanna's on, Mike's Bistro is sponsoring the food instead of the Javid group, because I don't even eat these cookies. I mean, I don't even eat this.
That
Yeah.
3-layer cake.
It's
That's
I,
all
I'm
food
I'm
coloring.
shocked they still have kosher for Passover food and key food at this time of year. Look at that stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
And for all the
Yeah.
listeners, Jack just brought in some rainbow cookies that are kosher for Passover. They have more preservatives than I have sorrows in my life, and I'm scared to touch it. The green is glowing right now. It's not very safe. So Avi, what do you do in your free time? What are your hobbies? Do you have hobbies?
Oh, sure, absolutely. Is disability sport. A lot of stuff, like, for example, snowboarding for me.
You snowboard.
Yeah.
Currently, you're an active snowboarder.
Avi, let the man talk. Jesus.
Hold on. I was just talking to my cousin yesterday. I want to get the early bird special on the slopes this season.
Is gross now. Yes, last year is awesome.
Where do you ski?
Before stroke, Hunter and Wyndham, and after is small. In
Small mountains.
Pennsylvania, Shawnee, or
nope, close. Not
Mount Vernon.
Nope.
Switzerland.
Yes.
I only know Aspen.
Connecticut.
Oh, Mohawk Mountain.
No, it's really small.
Oh, there's one in like Middlebury or somewhere in the berries over there. I know what
Yeah.
you're talking about. I used to go night skiing there.
Is disability sport, so it's free.
Oh.
For me, not for you. Sorry about that.
Well,
Forget it. We're not going skiing together.
I was in the Patauk program at MTA, which was for disabled. It was high functioning kids went there, so
Okay,
I'm
so
considered high functioning.
So then now,
Now, do you know about Disabled Sports USA?
yeah,
Oh, they're very good. You ever do any activities with them?
absolutely.
Oh, I love them. I did fundraisers for them. I know a lot of like Wounded Warriors. They do a lot of great programs.
Amazing. Yeah. So is also Freedom Wings is
Another slope that you go to.
no
Oh.
close, but no, it is. Hold on.
It's Freedom Wings in New York City. Oh, you fly a plane.
Not to fly yes, flying, but the pilots and me together.
That's great.
So you go up with the assistance of a pilot.
Yeah.
Very cool, Mike. What's that book right behind you, under the camera? What is that? What does that book say?
How to Succeed at Shidduch Dating in 3 Easy Steps.
No, really, take a look. What is that?
What?
Take a look under the camera. What is that book?
That looks
Cure
that's a-
for Insomnia, JavidRadio.
is that your flight book, Avi?
Yeah. So I'm actually I'm trained to be a pilot. So maybe we can go flying.
Yeah, no one likes him on land. Maybe they'll like him in the sky.
Perfect. Perfect.
Now, Avi,
Yes.
are you with
I don't
us?
know if I'm skilled enough to fly with him though yet.
What?
I don't know.
Would you get into a plane with this Avi over here?
Absolutely phenomenal.
Okay.
Now, if people want to get in touch with you, do you want people getting in touch with you?
Absolutely, yeah.
How are people able to get in touch with you?
So it's Avi Golden or email with is. Sorry, we'll see about that. A Golden at pobox.com or Facebook or LinkedIn.
So it's what's the email address again? It's A Golden, AGOLDEN.
I think so.
Okay. At
Gmail. No. Thank you.
as in PO Box.
Yes.
.com.
Yes.
And you say golden. Is it golden like the mustard or golden with an O?
Golden with an O. That's a little. That
Now
was a
you're
cheap
just
shot.
being mean.
Yeah.
No,
exactly.
I know. It actually just occurred to me because I had deli for lunch today, so it's like, okay. I
Yeah, the
didn't
name
see.
is on the board right next to you.
Oh, I apologize. man. My bad. I'm sorry.
Mike didn't prepare tonight.
Now you know what's on my mind. That's Mike's Bistro. I'm sure they have golden mustard there.
But I just want to say, I have a stroke, so I don't seriously. I don't know how to do it for numbers and names because I don't understand. So that's is very interesting and very interesting for everybody, including for me. So it's
Well, whenever we email, I feel like I understand and you understand me.
yes, but also
It's because I'm a celebrity. I know. It happens.
yes, also
Trust me, Avi, when people go into Mike's Bistro looking for that free meal, they're going to play the same card like, oh, we don't know. Where are they talking about it? And, they're just going to be putting on an act. But that's...
No, so explain. I'm actually curious. What do you mean? What is difficult actually to understand?
So, after the stroke, 3 years, I don't email. I don't know how to email.
Okay.
And then I say, oh, look, it's a dragon. Maybe I can go and fix. So now it's Nuance Dragon helps me to email with everybody else. So. Yeah.
So you use like a software or a program where you write the message that you're thinking.
Right, is I talk and the computer listens and writes.
Oh, it's
That's
like a talk,
amazing.
a voice to text, and it. Right, because I know on the bottom of your email. So this is for our listeners. If anybody is interested, obviously, in hearing more about aphasia or learning more about it, or wants Avi to come speak. I mean, he's open
Perfect.
to any speaking engagements. You can fly him around the world. He'll fly him in, put him up in a.
Avi, maybe you could fly him around. Maybe it could be like a team. I don't know if he'd get in the...
As long as it's a 3-star hotel you're putting him up in, he'll come. And if you want him to come speak about this topic, or if you or a family member who are listening, or you have a friend that's struggling and you want to learn more about it, then Avi is now able to communicate with you via email, which is fantastic.
Now, if people have speech impediments, how do they get in touch with Susanna, or if need?
You can always email me at suzkly@yahoo.com, SUZKLY@yahoo.com.
And if you mention you heard her on Javid Radio, you get a 10% discount on the first 3 lessons, and they have a platinum gold package deals to get your speech intact. It's actually fine because my entire life, people always would comment on my speech also, and I had a lot of insecurities about my speech, and then
They still do, Mike.
but people always question me: is that my real voice? Is that how you really talk? Are you disabled? I actually had Tourette's, or I do have Tourette's. I was diagnosed with at a very early age, and
I can't tell if you're serious.
no, I'm
or
100%
not.
serious. I used to go to the Tourette Syndrome Association on Bell Boulevard, and they used to.
That's how he got into stand-up comedy because everyone thought he was joking.
No, but a lot of times your motor skills would, basically be on hiatus, and like the first thing that comes to your mind, like you shout out or you constantly repeat the same thing, and you can't get out of that.
Like loop.
Yeah, it's basically the same word over and over, or the same phrase over and over again, and a lot of people with Tourette's have that. Yeah, I know it's different, but it's...
So as a speech pathologist, you work with not just people who are struggling with aphasia, but you work with... What kind of population do you work with?
I work with a few different types of populations. I work with adults, a lot of post-stroke that have either aphasia or dysphagia, which is difficulty swallowing, because that's also something that's commonly affected after
How are
a stroke.
you, as a speech pathologist, able to help someone learn how to swallow?
There's a lot of different exercises that we work, just like when there's weakness in your leg, for example, physical therapists, they work with you to strengthen the muscles so that you could essentially walk again. So we do similar things, but with the muscles in your mouth and in your throat to strengthen and to get the mechanisms to start working the right way again so that you swallow appropriately. It's a complex system, and we really take it for granted because you think, oh, swallow, you drink, you eat, you swallow, it's done. But there's a lot that goes into it, and if there's something that goes wrong, the whole system just goes haywire.
So if I wanted to work out my face or my tongue...
yes, essentially, what is your goal
in
doing this?
You have a lot to explain, Avi.
Avi, our guests are only here for a limited amount of time, so
I'll give you a spreadsheet of all the different exercises I recommend.
Okay, so-
Avi, just don't talk right now. Just keep silent for a little
Blake,
bit.
that goes for you also. Don't talk right now. So we actually just got a text from one of our callers. His name's Mushy Kiss from Spring Valley, and he wanted to know, Suzanna, as a speech pathologist,
Yeah.
you, as a profession, you help people talk a lot and get their motor skills and everything going again, so they could put together sentences and stuff. So he asked, his wife talks too much. So is there a way to actually get people to talk less? Is there
weaken their
some sort of
muscles.
therapy to get
Weaken
them to...
the muscles.
Yes, exactly.
To weaken the muscles.
Yes.
Just start listening.
I don't.
Start talking.
I don't follow. I have.
I know. Yeah. We'll have to work on that.
Okay.
Mike definitely has to work on
thing.
that because he's getting married in about a year or two.
Wow.
Yeah, or three.
Or three.
However long I could drag that out for.
He's actually going to be selling. We'll give him a little
clock
promo.
is ticking.
He's going to be selling tickets.
Not mine. I don't have a clock. What are you talking about? By the way, you ever notice when it comes to like clocks and stuff like that, girls are always like, "Oh, our clocks are ticking. Our clocks are ticking." But you ever go into like a store with them? They'll take as much time as possible. It's like their clock just went right out the window over there. It's
Yeah, we choose what we want to apply that to.
Yeah.
But stay tuned to your Groupon because Mike's fiance informed me that they will be selling group rates
Groupon's living socials to the wedding.
to their wedding.
To the big day.
Yes.
Yeah, we're going to be offering
They are
that up.
they're gonna break the record and sell tickets
Yeah,
on Groupon.
why
to their
invite
wedding.
close family or friends
Why
when you
didn't
can
I think
invite
of
paying
that?
customers?
Yep.
What?
Wow, why didn't I think of that?
It's not too late. And Mike,
It is too late.
Mike's,
Yes.
Mike's Bistro is going to run a special. They're giving us a great deal. It's $250 a head, and that's just their cost. So it's so we're going to have 4 people by the wedding, hopefully.
Amazing.
Now I have another question for Avi. When you were learning to talk again, did you? I'm sure that was very difficult.
No, not at all.
Not at all, right?
What was the first word that you wanted to learn how to say again? Sorry, Avi.
After the stroke is Wednesday. That's it. I don't know why it was Wednesday, but Wednesday is it for roundabout 1 year. Roundabout.
That's what you wanted to learn how to say.
Yes.
That's interesting. Wow. But what exercises did you yourself have to do to learn how to talk again?
Is speech pathology all the time.
So, like specifically, if you can, like what kind of exercise? I believe, if I recall, and correct me if I'm wrong, you said there was something about word association. I noticed earlier when it came to numbers, when you were counting, you actually counted from 1. Is that one of the exercises?
Basically, yeah. It's hard. It's for me, only for me. Everybody is different, so for me it's 5, 10, 15. So, and then maybe I is working, and maybe I'm forgetting, so I start again.
So if someone asks you a number related question, like for example, you're going to see your girlfriend in 2 weeks, you actually in your head it's in 2 weeks, but you actually would count that out 1, 2, as a way to kind of know that you're getting the answer across, not just in your mind.
Yes, and also is word, letter, day, weeks, months, and years. I don't understand the letters, so I switch a lot with important vowels. But thank God for me, it will say, sorry, say it again because it's switched up.
It's switched up. So if someone says, what day are you coming to visit, you might answer the month instead of the actual day.
And absolutely, yeah.
Okay, so if I say like, oh, when are you coming to the radio show, instead of saying Monday, you'll say, oh, November.
Basically, yeah.
Wow. That's such a challenge.
Yeah.
Yes,
it's like asking Avi, when are you getting married? It's like...
Why are you always picking on me?
I'm sorry, I thought it was me.
No,
Wait, so when are you getting married? All right. No pressure. Not from this group.
No pressure. Definitely no pressure. Well, that's very good. You actually inspired me, here today. I'm someone that speaks for a living or barely, and people hate listening to me. But I could listen to you talk all day long. This is you need to get your own podcast and or a radio show or I'd actually love to hear you come perform. When's your next speaking engagement?
Hold on 1 second.
You're asking him all the tough questions.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Listen, you could ask me when's the next time I'm performing. He'll get to the answer before I'll get to mine. That's.
Oh, come on, Mike. When's your next gig?
I don't even. What year is this? This is. See, I have trouble.
Something I just wanted to point out that the listeners can't see is that, Avi, what you're using is a strategy by writing the word out using your finger on the table to help. You're pretty much spelling it out for yourself, and it helps you retrieve the word.
Yeah. Yes, that is correct.
Okay, so sometimes when someone asks you a question, you'll have the answer, but in order to be able to express it verbally, you need to kind of almost like see it in front of you. So do you carry around like a pad and a paper? Does that help, having a writing tool to be able to do that?
Yeah. Yes, but also pen and paper or
doing it with your finger on the table. See, that's a talent because whenever I try to do like during shul, if someone is asks you a question but you don't want to talk because they're in the middle of services, I try to spell it out in the air, and people give you that question look like, what are you talking about? You're like,
well, that's because your handwriting was always bad, even in the air.
Look at this, we have one of the Lamed Vav Tzaddikim sitting in our presence. Wow. He'll drive on Shabbos, but he won't talk in shul. That's, gewaldic. Oh, you're tremendous hashpah in the audience. You're all going to do tshuva and go to the mikveh in the morning. Thank you, Avi.
Oh, absolutely.
So also is Cantot.
It's okay. What do you got?
Calendar.
Next
week on Monday is I am going to speaking about aphasia with speech pathology students. So next week.
Where is that going to be?
Post, Long Island Post.
Oh,
Long
okay.
Island Post. Is that an open event?
Not sure. Why not?
Okay.
It just became an open event.
It just became an open event.
I actually performed there. Bring a bulletproof vest. No, I'm joking. I'm only kidding with you. Now, have you spoken to Hot Solo, the Queen's Hot Solo yet?
Yeah, he spoke. He just said 3 years ago.
Oh, 3 years. There's been a lot of new volunteers. Well, what are you waiting for?
Yeah, it's Hatala. A lot of Hatala. Queens, Brooklyn, Manhattan, Senior Care, Staten Island. But yeah, it's Hatala. But also EMS, police, firemen. I go traveling around the world talking about aphasia, like
Fascinating.
Israel.
Do you have an organization, or is it just if people want to find you, they find you?
Both.
So is it the organization, is that your organization that you started, or are you part of an organization?
No, not all. Yes. National Aphasia Center in Manhattan is go to the website. So National Aphasia Center spoke with Elaine Gansby and talked with me about coming to speaking about aphasia, and that's 7 years ago.
Wow. So they'll contact you they'll send you on different assignments basically to go and speak about aphasia.
Me and speech pathology also
together. He doesn't want to take the credit all for himself. I gotcha. That's really nice of you.
Do you go as well to speak, or?
No, I haven't gone with him, but I know
after tonight we might change
one
that.
One of my colleagues goes with you a lot, right?
Yes.
Now I noticed something in the slideshow that you sent me about like an aphasia awareness card or a sticker. Is that something that you're already
it's
using?
A tattoo.
Or?
It's a tattoo.
See, I have it right here in my calendar. No, in my wallet.
Wallet, very good.
So, here.
Oh, look at this. Okay, so it's a card that says, "Please take time to communicate. I have aphasia, a communication impairment. My intelligence is intact. I am not drunk or mentally unstable." And this is actually, I imagine anybody that has aphasia can get this card.
Absolutely, and it's free.
And it's free. And I think for you, it probably helps a lot if you're, out in public and you don't have a speech pathologist with you or a friend with you at the time, and you need to communicate to somebody, God forbid, an emergency, or even when ordering food in a restaurant. I imagine this becomes very handy to just let them know, hey, give me a moment. I know what I'm trying to say. I need a moment from you to make sure that you can understand what it is that I'm trying to say.
Example, like tech support. I called to tech support, and 5 years, around about 5 years, I go to call tech support, and sometimes I'm fine. I said, sorry, I have a stroke and aphasia, so hold on. And half of the time I is fine, and half the time I say, I'm sorry, I don't understand the emailing. I will call you back with my friend.
Oh, so you have someone to come help you with speaking to them.
Yes.
Wow. So it sounds like you make it sound like it's not as challenging as it must really be. You've always been a very ambitious, highly motivated and dedicated person. So I'm sure you're an example to the community, especially for people that are struggling with aphasia, as somebody that they can look up to and inspire them to do the work that you do. And I'm sure, what's your therapy on a daily basis or a weekly basis like?
So Monday I go to Adler Aphasia Center in New Jersey.
Okay.
And 1 or 2 times a week, I travel to EMS, police, and firemen. And Tuesday is Mona Greenfield. Wednesday is Adler Aphasia Center. Thursday is Mona Greenfield. And Friday is either sleep or eat or
so you don't sleep or eat the rest of the week.
Right.
By the way, I'd like to interject here for a second. Avi Cyperstein, and yet Avi was still able to find a girlfriend, and even long distance. You have absolutely no excuse, and you should be ashamed of yourself. Blake, we understand. It's not easy being you either. It's
Wow. So you're basically doing some form of therapy on a almost daily basis.
Every day. And also is a disability sport. A lot of sports disabilities.
So aside from skiing, I interrupted you before. What other sports do you do year round?
Water ski, skiing, snowboarding, hiking.
I need to get out more.
That's more than I do.
yeah, seriously. Yeah.
Skydiving.
Oh,
what?
Scuba diving.
Whoa.
I thought every day. You just gave us your weekly schedule. Where do you fit that in?
Yeah.
It's a lot of fun, and it's free. So not for you. I'm sorry.
You're talking to a guy whose favorite sport is surfing the web. That's,
I was just gonna say, this group right here in this room, we were supposed to go on a Javid radio group skydiving trip this summer.
And Avi was flying. Yeah. That's why we were gonna jump.
And they all bailed on me, basically.
I am saying whatever you want. Let's go.
I'm in. You are my next skydiving partner. I am in.
Now, do you? What do you like to watch? Do you have like crime? Do you crime shows? Do you like to watch the stories, the soap operas, the whole nine?
No, I like to for example, like The Office.
Oh, great show! Yeah,
I love that show.
Or how do you say? Is New York City police comedy?
Brooklyn Nine-Nine. I love that show. My man. That's it.
It's funny,
We're reaffirming our
funny.
friendship right now. It's such a great show. I haven't been on it yet, but it's a great show.
Oh my God.
All right. Well, that's more than most of us do here. He has a busy week and a busy schedule. This is our entire activity for the week. We do have tomorrow. We're just going to go plan for next week, I think, and maybe even the week after. I don't even think we think that far ahead. But what's your schedule like, Suzanna? You have a lot of clients, or?
Yeah, I have a pretty busy schedule as well.
Now, out of all your clients, who is Avi up there? Or is he a favorite?
I just have to say that first of all, it's a really, I'm sure you guys, the listeners and everyone can understand and hopefully relate to how difficult it is to have your language be affected, your comprehension or your expression. You know, it's the way we communicate. It's our it's our ability to socialize, essentially. And when that's taken away, it can be a very depressing and debilitating thing. So the way that Avi is, it's a very unique way of being, and I just wanted to point that out. He's really a true inspiration for all people that have suffered a stroke and for just people who have not suffered a stroke,
or any adversity.
Anybody, because
absolutely.
The way your optimism and your approach to life, and
he hasn't stopped smiling since he got it.
And your love for just living and taking whatever hand life has given you and saying thanks, I'm going to make the best out of it. I think that's really impressive and pretty amazing.
Yeah, I like I said, I was telling Susanna before that I was truly inspired when I heard you speak. What I thought was a year ago, but really 3 years ago. See, it left that kind of impression on me. And I'm inspired right now again, just sitting here, knowing your history, knowing your story, knowing how active you were, and seeing the dedication. I mean, everybody in their life goes through different periods of hard times, and some people let those hard times really get to them and fall into some form of depression or sadness. And I'm talking about, forget medical, they break up with someone or they lose a job. And these are big things, but there are some people who get lost and for months or even years in that position. And Avi, you are someone who took your condition with your history, and you didn't let that get you stuck somewhere where you couldn't live the life that you want to live, which is really, really, really amazing. It truly is.
Yeah, and just to touch upon that, Avi Cyperstein makes me want to throw in the towel. He does not motivate me. He makes me want to just do less out of my life and just really just want to sleep all day and just sit back and collect welfare or food stamps. But you actually inspire me, and I'm sure countless others. We're not even going to touch upon what Blake makes me feel or want to do with my life. But you have a tremendous gift and a tremendous kavod, that strength, where I'm not sure any one of us here could do what you do and how you do it and with the grace you do it with. And you're a tremendous inspiration. We hope the two of you will come back and be a guest sometime in the near future. So
Thank you so much for having us.
Thank you as well.
And I did have actually one more question. I know I'm getting the message that we have to go off the air, but with the therapy that you're doing, is there ever a chance that, I mean, is it more of a maintenance, or is there ever a chance, and maybe Suzanna, you can help out, based on the intensive program that he's partaking in, is there a chance that Avi will communicate the way he used to, that he will be able to use the tools to be able to get the words out in the way that he used to? Is that something that's, it might be a sensitive question, but I'm how do you feel, Avi, about that?
So again, for me, I'd like to come back to medical school. I don't know now, but in the future, who knows?
Okay.
A lot of people ask me that question, patients and patients' families, and I say anything is possible. Everybody is different, and that's really the truth of it. It depends on how your brain and your body are going to react to the therapy. Avi is really young, especially compared to a lot of people that have strokes, so he has better chances of that happening.
Okay, so if I can give you that bracha, that blessing, that with the work that you're doing, you should be able, and again, you're living a great life right now, you're an inspiration, like I said before, you have this big fat smile sitting here the whole time, you're obviously give other people a reason to smile, which alone is beautiful, but I want to give you that blessing that you should be able to get to that point.
Again, thank you.
You're welcome.
Amen.
And thank you so much for tuning in, and we're going to send out your information to our list. If anyone wants to get in touch with Avi, again, we'll send out that information to our email list, and of course they can always email us at info@thejavidgroup.com, and we look forward to seeing you all or hearing you all.
And thanks to Mike's Bistro for the generous $200 gift certificate for Caller 100 tonight. That was very generous. Thank you.
And you can listen to this podcast. You can share it with your friends by going to www.surrealradio.com. That's SYREAL radio.com. Click on the archive section, go to Javid Group, and you'll be able to forward this to whoever you'd like. Thank you guys so much for coming in tonight.
Thanks again.
Thank you.